Okay, there are my two chest freezers from Lowe's. Both of them are holiday chest freezers from Lowe's. One is a 5 cubic foot, 7 cubic foot. The 5 cubic foot is what I ferment in. It's got enough room for a 6.5 gallon carboy, pretty comfortably, and a few bottle beers. The temp controller. And here's a probe for the temp controller attached to the side of the carboy. All you do is plug the chest freezer itself into the temp controller and set it at whatever temperature you want. Now, as far as how many kegs that would hold, there's a ball lock. Corny. So it would easily have one corny here and one here if you were going to make it into a kegerator. Plenty of room on the hump for your CO2 tank. I don't know if you get CO2 and 2 cornies in there, but you'd have some extra room around it. Now, if you want a little bigger, this one will hold 4 cornies plus the CO2. The collar's pretty cheesy. I had a buddy of mine cut the miters, and he did a terrible job, but what the hell, it works, right? It's a piece of cake to do. I didn't want to ruin the chest freezer, so this can totally go back to a chest freezer. There's a wooden collar around it. I just painted it white. Drilled holes for taps. It's just laying on top of here. I bought a roll of insulation. Just peel and stick insulation all the way around it, which gives a good enough seal. This collar isn't even attached. It's just laying on here. But it's not going to move unless you really raunch on it. The lid itself has enough padding around it to create a good enough seal along the top. So it stays cold. It stays cool. Drip tray even. Magnets from Walmart. There's a temperature probe for that temp controller on the kegerator. The hinges, not all the hinges are the same on different chest freezers, but the holiday chest freezers from Lowe's, these just unscrew from the back of the chest freezer, and I just screwed them right into the back of the collar. So a little one like this, the 5 cubic foot, you could easily make into a little kegerator and not hurt the chest freezer at all. Let me see, I wrote down the dimensions here. The 5 cubic foot chest freezer is 28.5 inches wide, 22 inches deep, and 33 inches high. Plenty high for a corny, you can see that. The bigger one is 37.5 inches wide, 25 inches deep, and 38 inches high. And man, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the chest freezer this way is undamaged. If I ever give up the hobby or want to get rid of the chest freezer, I can easily lift that collar right up on there, put the lid back on top of the chest freezer, and it is completely undamaged. And this is actually an IPA that I just started cold crashing. It was at 68. Got set on 55. And I keep cooling it a little bit at a time so it doesn't ice up in there. But yeah, you make a kegerator out of anything you want to, but this costs a whole lot less than one of the commercial deals. You know, maybe it helps.